Does this lighting make it look like there's a sunset? That would be very thematically correct. Hello, it's 2021, the summer, which means it's hot girl summer. How do you explain hot girl summer to someone who doesn't understand the meme? I really don't know where the idea of hot girl summer originated. Let's just say hot girl summer is gonna be your summer. You're gonna be your best self. That's the idea. Now, what do girls do during hot girl summer? Do they go to parties? No. Do they go shopping? No. They read books, of course. I swear I'm not making this up. Like, my TikTok For You page, and I'm on TikTok a lot, was like full of these videos of like book recommendations for hot girl summer, my reading list for hot girl summer. And the biggest thing that I noticed about these lists is that they were full of books that I'd never heard of. Like, there's this whole area of books that I've just never tapped into. Does that mean I'm not a hot girl if I don't recognize these books? If I want to have a hot girl summer, maybe I should read these books. Maybe I should listen to what the TikTok girlies are telling me to read. So that's where the idea of this video originated. First, we're gonna look at these hot girl summer book recommendation TikToks together, and then I'm gonna choose a few of them that I see the most often and that sound interesting to me, and then I'm gonna read them, and then I'll tell you whether they're worth it, whether these books gave me a hot girl summer or a cold wench summer. Let's just look at the TikToks. Books to read for a hot girl summer. See, I'm not making this up. This is a real thing. We immediately have a bunch of like feminist books, I think, essay collection, stuff that I don't recognize. Sally Rooney, more feminism, more Sally Rooney. Oh, I've read The Picture of Dorian Gray and I really like that. So I've also read Daisy Jones and the Six, so we're in good territory here. I see a lot of feminist non-fiction and fiction. Trick Mirror. I've seen this book on my For You page quite a lot. An essay collection again. More Sally Rooney. Oh my gosh. I'm getting the feeling that I can no longer ignore Sally Rooney if I'm gonna make this video. Patti Smith, Joan Didion. I'm seeing these a lot. More feminist stuff. Again, this essay collection. Ooh, Girl, Woman, Other. Trick Mirror again. I actually have Girl, Woman, Other on my want to read list. I think so far the criteria for a hot girl summer book is just a book by a woman. It's about women and being a woman. There's some feminist undertones, and a lot of these books seem kind of sad, I will say. Hot Girl Summer TBR Part 2. Oh, Girl, Woman, Other again. More Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have read Taylor Jenkins Reid and I do like her. My Year. There's so many. I've seen My Year of Rest and Relaxation very often on my For You page as well. Maybe I should look into that. Oh, there it is again. Oh, more Sally Rooney. I'm not gonna read A Little Life. Definitely not. Okay, there's a lot. There's a lot. So I've just taken a look at the synopses of the title of some of these books that appeared very often, and I'm definitely gonna try out Girl, Woman, Other because I've already been wanting to read that one. I feel like I can't make a video like this without reading a Sally Rooney book since they were in so many people's videos. I've seen Sally Rooney, you know, the author of Normal People, very often in bookstores. I never thought it would be like my thing. All of these are like contemporary fiction, by the way. Only contemporary fiction and non-fiction. I want to choose at least one non-fiction book about like feminism, maybe an essay collection, because a lot of the recommended books were essay collections. And then I'll pick another fiction book that piqued my interest. I'm gonna acquire these books, then I'll do a little haul for you, show you which books I chose, what they're about, what I'm expecting from them, and then we'll just get reading. Woohoo! Hot girl summers! It's staying in bed all day with a book. I mean, I would enjoy it, so. Okay, that's all. See you when I get the books. Hello, it's time for a book haul. Oh, okay. First off, Two of the books I got from the library. They are in Dutch because they only had the Dutch translation, but that's fine. First, we have here Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. This is the English cover. This book's a lot bigger than I expected. It's like 500 pages. We follow 12 different people of color, mostly women and one non-binary person, just kind of their lives. I was just really intrigued by this because I've heard so many good things about it. It has won a Booker Prize, so I'm just really curious about this. I think it's just one of those books where you don't need to know too much about the plot, you just have to go into it, and then it's gonna be beautiful. I hope. It better be, because it's like 500 pages. Then I have here Sally Rooney, because, you know, I had to. Normal People. So this is a pretty short contemporary fiction about Marion and Connell, who get to know each other in high school and then kind of have a love story all throughout college, and you like follow their lives. But I know it's not like a romance book, so it's probably not gonna end well. Otherwise it would have just been marketed as a romance book. Let's be real. And then the other two I couldn't find in libraries or even in bookstores. I've been to so many bookstores, I couldn't find these books anywhere, so I just ordered them online. First off, we have here My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. Ooh, it's so pink on the back. Oh, and the spine is also pink. That looks nice. Oh, this is gonna look really cool on my bookshelf. I understand that publishers do this little flappy thing so we open it up, but I just don't like it. So from what I've understood, this book is about a young, like rich woman who's severely depressed, and to escape from her life, she just decides to escape for a year and take a bunch of sleeping pills and just like sleep for an entire year. It's supposed to be like very shocking, very strange, and I'm excited to read about like sad women, I guess. So far that seems to be the theme of these Hot Girl Summer books. It's just books about sad women. And then the last book that I'll be reading for this video, Trick Mirror by Gina Tolentino. I thought I was holding it upside down, but this time I'm not, because the cover goes both ways. So this is an essay collection about modern times, being a woman, living in the age of the internet, etc. It says on the cover that it's a whip-smart, challenging book. Cool. That sounds like a Hot Girl Summer book. And there they are. I'm gonna start with Girl, Woman, Other. I just realized that like on the back of this book, it's blurbed by the author of this book. I really did choose the right book combinations. Also, when I was buying these books online, when I went to one of these books, you could see at like the recommended other books, all these other books that I also saw in these like Hot Girl Summer book videos. So it really is a specific genre of books that I've somehow fallen into, that I've never been before. So I'm excited to see what I'm gonna think. Also, I have to say that so many of these books, if I go on Goodreads, get extremely mixed reviews, like from 4 stars to just the top reviews being 1 star. So I feel like it could absolutely go either way with this video. Either I've just discovered a new type of book that I hadn't discovered yet that's really my thing, or I'm not a hot girl and I'm one of the many people that do not enjoy these books. Hello. These are my parents' bookshelves. Do you like them? Actually, these are my mom's. Anyway, so I've been reading Girl, Woman, Other. I was just immediately captivated by these different women's lives and their stories. The writing style is super interesting because there are no periods, there are only paragraph breaks, but it never becomes difficult to read. And also, the entire writing style is in passive, so there's never any active conversation. You know, there's never like parts with like quotation marks or people are talking. It's just a passive description of what's happening and what's being said. And because of that, this book has like a folklore vibe to it in the way that it's written. So at the beginning, I was all for it. But I have to say, I'm like a little over halfway into this now, and I'm starting to struggle a little bit. I think it's because every 50 pages, I have to leave the story of one woman and just get used to this completely different character again. And then as soon as I'm attached to them, leave them behind again and get attached to a new character. kind of like with short stories, I'm not really good with that. But supposedly, at the end, it's all supposed to like come together, Love Actually style, you know? So I'm really excited when that starts rolling around. I'm gonna be into it again. This weekend, I'm actually gonna go on a quick holiday with some of my friends. I'm gonna take the book with me and see if I can finish it on holiday. And then I can talk to you about what my overall thoughts are. You know, it has a chance to redeem itself because it started out so great. I wanted to like roll in smoothly, but that's not happening. Anyway, I had a lovely holiday and I finished Girl, Woman, Other, and let me tell you, I have positive feelings about this book. Despite it having a few stories that didn't really stick with me as much, overall, I think this was just wonderfully done. The ending was super satisfying, which I really appreciate. And I just really love how this is such a wonderful portrait of what it's like being mostly like a woman of color in the UK, and the large variety of experiences that these characters have, how they have very different, sometimes even opposing ideas from each other. So yeah, I would highly recommend Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I really hope that this is a good sign and says something about how I'm going to enjoy the other books in this video, although I will say that this one got the best reviews on Goodreads and the other ones are the more tricky ones. Hello, I'm eating blueberries that I picked from the garden. This is my definition of how girl summer is, just eating produce that you grow yourself. I'm only like 50 pages into Normal People, and I already have two things to say. First of all, this book is having a chokehold on me for some reason. I've only just started reading and I already have like so many feelings for these two teenagers that care way too much about academic validation and each other, except they won't admit that to each other. So I don't know, I'm a little scared that maybe it's gonna be just like Girl, Woman, Other, where at the beginning I'm super captivated, but then it like gets less throughout. But we'll see. And the second thing is that this book doesn't use quotation marks, so when there's dialogue, you just don't know if it's being spoken out loud or if someone's thinking it until you finish the sentence and you read "said Marian," so you know that someone said it out loud. And it's a little jarring, I'm gotta say. Hello, so I finished, oh, wow, whoa. This was not planned. I finished Normal People by Sally Rooney yesterday evening in bed. I knew I had to finish it in bed because I was kind of expecting to like maybe cry. So I was like, I better be in bed when I'm reading this instead of like sitting in a public space. I feel like this book filled me with like a void, but in a good way. Sally Rooney managed to write a book in which barely anything happens, and yet here I am feeling all these feelings for these characters. Also, Sally Rooney wrote a book that is basically just one big miscommunication trope. The most universally hated trope by every readers. We all agree on the fact that miscommunication is always frustrating, and yet she wrote an entire book where everything is just miscommunication, and yet it was extremely enjoyable. And it was never frustrating, like it worked. It really worked, and it was done so well, and it just made you feel, that's a good writer. That's how you know you have a good writer. If I had to describe this book in one word, I'd say poignant. Like, it's not sad. I don't want anyone to go into this book expecting like tragedy, because it's not. Like, it's the kind of book that will never make you cry full on, but it'll make you almost cry many times and kind of leave you with a lump in your throat. Normal People really shows how melancholy can sometimes cut deeper than outright tragedy. And I think that was done very well, and I'm really glad that I read this. Turns out I enjoy reading sad books about messy characters anyway. Yesterday I had a really long train ride, and I think I read about half of my year in rest and relaxation on that ride, which is an interesting choice because spending so much time completely diving into this story that has such a hazy vibe really brings that hazy weird vibe into your real life. You really feel it. Very unlike anything I've read, except that in a weird way it kind of reminds me of The Stranger by Albert Camus, in the way that the main characters are so emotionally detached, but not like in a bad way, like it's a stylistic choice. Which, by the way, don't read this book if you like to read about likable people, because all of these characters, and also especially the main character whose perspective you read, are very just bad people. But that's kind of the point. I think I discovered that there is a kind of joy in reading about these terrible people. In a way, this book kind of speaks to the parts of you that you don't like about yourself. And on top of that, it's mostly an exploration of depression. Like, the main character is just clearly depressed and she's trying to cope with it by just going on drugs. I totally understand that a lot of people really hated this book, especially if you don't like to read about just messy people, but I really appreciate it. I'm not sure what my overall thoughts are going to be because I just finished it, but they're definitely positive. Okay, so I finished the last book, the essay collection Trick Mirror by Gila Tolentino. I think it's pretty safe to say that this is my favorite essay collection that I've read. Not that I've read that many. I've read maybe 4, but this one was my favorite. As with most essay collections, there are highs and lows. There are a few ones that I really did not care about, but then the ones that I liked were just so good that they just shut up the overall quality of this book. I really enjoyed A Generation in 6 Scams, where she goes over 6 scams that, or was it 7? 7 scams, where she goes over 7 scams that have kind of defined the millennial generation. For example, things like Fire Festival or the ultimate girl boss Elizabeth Holmes and how she scammed everyone. But I really like that she also mentioned things that you maybe wouldn't consider scams, like student college debt and Amazon. And I kind of, because of that essay, I kind of fell into a hole of like researching all these different scams, because I realized that it kind of awakens something bad inside of me. I get so much satisfaction about learning about these scams of these megalomaniac people thinking that they can just get everyone and then getting their sweet, sweet retribution, you know? I know that's not a virtuous thing to do, but man, did I enjoy that. There's another essay called Always Be Optimizing, about how women are always expected to be optimizing themselves and being their best and beautiful and most polished version. She really kind of goes into all these ways that capitalism kind of brands these kind of optimizing procedures as a feminist, when in reality they're just hurting women in the long run. Also, if you enjoy books, which I know you do because you're watching this video, so you probably like books, otherwise why are you here? But in a few different essays she also goes into like female characters in media and in stories, and I just really enjoy Gina Tonino's look on things. It's very nuanced. She has just a lot of really great critiques on society that I either already agreed with or like a lot of new things that I haven't thought about. I actually listened to the audiobook mostly. I have bookmarked so many sentences. If you've never tried out an essay collection and you enjoy reading about like modern day life and feminism, this one, very good. So the question that I think we're all asking ourselves, no one's asking themselves this, I'm just asking myself this: did I have a hot girl summer because of reading these books? I really enjoyed diving into this genre of books that I never otherwise would have tried out probably, and I really enjoyed it. I know that a lot of these books are kind of, people either hate or love them, and apparently I fall on the more positive side of that, so I don't know what that says about me that I enjoyed these books. I found it interesting to see that these kind of books that are often mentioned as like hot girl summer books tend to be of the more like contemporary, sad, more critical, more like feminist type of books. It kind of fits into the broader narrative that I see very often, that kind of sad, more negative books are often associated with being like more intellectual, which I don't always agree with, but nevertheless I did enjoy these books. Feeling ready to look down on people and telling them that their book taste is inferior to mine. I feel like these books would almost give me a superiority complex, but unfortunately I already have an inferiority complex, so that's not gonna happen. There's only a few weeks of hot girl summer left. I hope you will enjoy your time, and then we'll just move on to hot girl autumn. Might as well. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon in another one. Goodbye.